Hello, this is J.N.S, and I want to cover the topic: is the term NPC dehumanizing? So I just want to elucidate on like the context in which I use the term NPC. It's been like something that we hear people saying, and so I was looking at like a little scuttle about people thinking that using the term NPC is dehumanizing, it's degrading and whatnot. And for me, the term NPC is not dehumanizing because we're not necessarily describing those of human attribute or of a human being. And so I want to talk about the term non-player character. And so there's various definitions of what a NPC is. I'll go over some definitions and then I'll give my own, because there's only two contexts in which I ever use the term non-player character.
Many theorists
And
believe
so
that
let's just
NPCs are
see. Let's
those
just
who
look at this
refuse to
video where
believe.
it's saying their definition of the NPC. Do I think they have no soul or inner dialogue? It depends. Let's just hear what they have to say.
In the
Hope you guys
Matrix,
can hear it.
or have any sort of
It's
open
really low.
mindedness when it comes to conspiracy theories and understanding the depth of government control and manipulation. It is also thought that NPCs, in
Probably
fact,
can't hear it, so I'll just read it. In fact, mostly fill the NPCs mostly fill the world's population, and and they're here to keep us in line. So they are not open to any sort of mindfulness when it comes to conspiracy theories. They don't understand the depth of government control manipulation. There's a popular study that shows
only
that only
30
30 to 50%
50% of people within this world.
of people in this world have an inner dialogue. And many believe that 50 to 70% of people who don't have inner dialogue are NPCs. The reason that people think this to be true is because it means they have no higher awareness to decode information they are being presented with. They also make us question their ability to reflect without an inner voice. How is someone able to ask themselves why certain things happen? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so this was like controversial to say. I personally don't necessarily agree with this definition, but it is a definition nonetheless. And, people were talking about, using this term is degrading. We, I guess like a lot of us who are awakening or chosen ones, or even those of us that are even in the dot targeted individual spectrum, we know what an NPC is, and so we've been using this term, and there are people that find it offensive for us to be using this term, and so like you see some of the comments. Some people say that NPCs no longer have their holy trinity intact. Their souls have been snatched, which leaves their incarnate body and spirit to live on in limbo. See, there's different definitions. That's a whole other definition. Um, let's see if we can find some other. NPCs are highly programmable. See how is no one definition. The social engineers of this world know this and condition them accordingly. The proof is all around us. The perfect examples is the C-19 psyop, the Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird, blah blah blah. So this one says, people get offensive. Maybe this is hit dogs hollering. I don't know. I don't know. But then I think because there's no concretized definition on NPC, there could be, in some sense, this idea that perhaps it's coming off as we are judging those that are unaware as soulless or closed-minded or have no soul. See, and that's why I think that the definition needs to be like solidified. But this is what people believe. Like some say that NPCs are soulless, um, and there are people without souls. Or the inner dialogue is shallow. Here you got ones that the inner dialogue is shallow, and that they are, some of them have jealousy, hate, cheating, greed, murder, stealing, sexual overkill, all this stuff. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can find some other. See somebody saying drugs and have altered their brains, and that's how you become an NPC. So it's a lot of shit. It's a lot. It's a lot of people that have the different theories because people, and here goes someone is saying like, okay, it comes off like y'all feel the need to feel superior, and I don't want to even partake in, and I don't use the term trying to feel superior because again, when I'm using the term NPC, I'm not even referring to humans, to be quite frank. And some people say, here go another definition, they are Agent Smiths, like in the Matrix. Matrix backtrap people. See? Simulation. Programmatic clones. and so it's a lot. It's a lot of different definitions. And so let's look at this tab. This is more in line with what my definition is. And so, the term NPC, non-player character, originates obviously from video games. Now, if we look at this world that we live in as a simulation with a simulation or our ability to write a script and to program our consciousness in a way as if we are playing a video game, imagine those that have control over this hell matrix or whatever, this matrix system, they would create NPCs. They have access to incredible holographic technology, and this technology can appear in the 3D, 4D realm, even 5D realm, believe it or not. And so these are um, characters or people that are controlled by the matrix itself, AI. So this is high level AI. They're not actual players. And so that's what you would see like in a video game. In a video game, you have characters that are controlled by the game's AI, and they're not actually actual players. Okay, and so on social media, though, the NPC is used to as a metaphor to describe someone who blindly follows popular opinion without critical thinking. It implies that the person in question conforms to societal political ideologies without questioning or expressing unique viewpoints. So these people that once again are easily programmable. And so I personally wouldn't use that definition. I literally think that there are holographic. I've seen this myself, like, and this may be extreme to even voice this viewpoint, but there are holographic, 3D beings that appear human that are programmed by this Matrix AI technology. They also are sometimes archons inside of a human vessel. And sometimes they're wearing the skin of a human, but they're not human at all. So when I'm referring to an NPC, I am referring to that. The other aspect of the NPC that I am referring to is those who have made a deal with the players of the game controllers of this matrix system of subprime reality, a fake simulation, and sold out their, not just your soul, but sold out their fellow man. And in doing that, they um in exchange for money or in exchange for certain benefits that like this government has to offer or that the system has to offer rather, they would turn and betray their fellow humanity. That could mean those that played a role as gang stalker. Those are NPCs in my eyes as well. They are controlled by the mainframe of this subprime reality matrix. And so anybody that participates in any sort of oath taking activity that requires them to be a slave, pretty much, mindless slave, someone that doesn't have free will, that will take a dollar to turn on the innocent, to turn on chosen ones, to target chosen ones, and to target innocents for exchange of money. That is an NPC to me because they spend their time focused on source characters, and they're not focused on their own divinity. They're not focused on their own self. They can't focus on their own self. They can't focus on their own uh, ascension. That is the NPC. It's a textbook definition for those that know what it's like to deal with the dumber urge turning on you via people that sold you out, people who um, are monitoring you, gang stalking you, all these type of things. Those are NPCs. They take money to sell humanity out. They sell their own soul out It's the lowest of the lowest job that you could ever have in this world, to have to go and stalk someone else or target harass someone else, whether that be through noise campaigns, uh, all types of stuff that they do. You guys know there's a manual out on this. You guys already know. You can read the affidavit by Ted Gudinson, who was the chief of the FBI, who admitted that this stuff is going on, and he was killed, obviously. And so that's the NPC to me. On the other side, you have the archons that wear the human skin. Sometimes, most of the time, those that's doing this activity, they turn into archons. They become because they soul it gets feasted on. Those who do the low level that's actually human, that sell their humanity out and sell their fellow man out through what they become gang stalkers. They eventually do turn into archons, very low level, and they can only they feast. They have the same desires and feast, as they descend lower in lower consciousness. So those are two aspects of what an NPC is. The next aspect of the NPC is literally the ability of higher interdimensional beings that are higher in technology and knowledge, but not necessarily consciousness and awareness. They have the ability to create holographic, homunculus, adult size homunculus and clones, and put them out and program them to do non-player character shit. It happens all the time. I've seen this firsthand. And when the Demerge decides to turn on, say, certain individuals, whether that be because you are a whistleblower, retaliation, whatever you have made done, maybe you are a threat, maybe you are too awakened, maybe you are too intelligent, maybe you are too gifted and not controlled, and too not predictable. And so that's when they will start to, you'll see the video game turn on your ass pretty much, and all the NPCs be looking at you and trying to fuck you up and set you up and get you messed up. And this is why people are feeling, that's why people are going on the internet, contacting the Department of Justice. It's millions of complaints to the Department of Justice of Americans, and even globally, of people talking about, oh, what's happening with this derma urge? What's happening? What's happening? Oh, I'm being targeted. I'm being gang stalked. Oh my gosh, what's happening? I'm a targeted individual. These individuals are not crazy. What's happening is they don't necessarily understand the technology of what this all is. So they don't understand that it's actually an illusion. It's illusory in its sense. It's a program. It's a matrix simulation within a simulation that's on top of prime reality. So you have Earth reality, and then every human has their ability to create their own narrative and their own IPU. But the system doesn't want anybody to know that, and so anybody that has the potential to awaken, they 24/7 work on your mental and your psychology so that you don't ever get to that God ability, ascended ability, say like ascended master. And so those that they sniff out, oh, you got this potential to do this, or you're not following the script, you're not programmable, you're not buying a system, you questioning too much, you're fucking thinking too much, you into too much into God, you too much into the spiritual stuff. That's when they realize, okay, we gotta have our NPCs, we gotta create NPCs and programs for your ass 24/7 to try to break your mind, get you off track, get you distracted. First, you just low level, get you distracted. That doesn't work. Get you to self destruct. Can we get you committed in a mental institution? Can we get you on drugs? Can we get you to off yourself? Can we get you in jail? This is the next step of the program. It goes higher and higher. If that doesn't work, they do the gematria. See if is it worth it to actually off this person. If we off, because the ones that they go after is obviously those of a very powerful chi, very powerful prana. So it's like, what happens to our IPU and the whole matrix if we off this person? Say if the benefits outweigh the risk, they'll just off your ass. If it doesn't though, then they get sloppy. They can get sloppy, where they start revealing the stuff, or they'll get so sloppy where the energy turns back on them. Especially if the person keeps going to the next level, and they realize it's the game, and they realize, oh shit, I can really program my own reality. That's when it's game over. That's probably everybody better run for cover at that point because they're gonna take over the whole video game, the whole simulation, and then start playing it themselves. And that's when you have the people that talk about, oh, that they can manifest at will, the ascended masters, the greatest yogi that can teleport in 2 seconds from all over the world, everywhere, everything, all at once. As we hear about them type of people, the Yeshua types, them type of. That's when you start to be like or King Solomon. That's when you start to become at that level. And so hopefully they're hoping with the rest of humanity, it's like hopefully none of you guys just wake up or get to that level. And so they constantly throwing 24/7, throwing distraction at you, throwing low vibrations at you, trying to feed off of the harness your energy, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, uh, pain, anything, grief, anything that's going to keep your ass at a low state. This is what the program caters to. It caters to the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra, um, which is the earth level. And it's not necessarily inherently bad, but what they do is they tap into the unbalanced aspect of it. Everything has its duality, so they tap into the aspect of the primal reptilian part of the brain that seeks out animalistic, uh, irrational desires, pleasures, ever lasting desires, everlasting needs for validation, fame and fortune, drugs, sex part. That's why I have sex, party, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's the thing that they push. They put it in the movies, program whatever they want in the agenda in the movies. We pretty much know how it goes. But they're hoping that, for the most part, they're hoping that the way they have that system, it works on humans. They don't question things. They'll go along to get along. They're hoping for that type of situation, generally speaking. They've been hoping for that. But obviously, everything it runs its course. There's more powerful AI that gets developed, and we're talking about more powerful repository intelligence. There's other dimensions that visit. There's other beings that's way more powerful than the beings that run the system that come here. It'd be all types of shit happen. So now we're at a head, and then you have different types of species that's all created from a pole of creation. But what happens when the head person that created all of this, the chief architect, the godhead, whatever you want to say, whatever, what happens when they want to clamp down? What happens when they say, okay, enough is enough? You guys gotta change your damn program. You gotta write a new script. You gotta create. You gotta alter. You gotta create a new IPU. And they go to a certain species and tell them that. And it just happens to be the species that are here on planet Earth in this particular dimension in space and time. There's thousands and thousands of planets, thousands and thousands of universes. And so if it's up on a chopping block for planet Earth in terms of the checklist and review, is like a performance review. You get a performance review at your job. These planets, they get a performance review, and they find out, you send your recognizance team, and you realize, okay, they got this concept of, they really create homunculus. They create, um, they use the AI technology to exploit other real species, real humans, and they have this idea that humans are AI, like the people that run this, maybe they see humans as AI, so they don't care. And so it's like, well, who educated on you? These are like kids running this shit compared to the higher levels of dimensions. And so, right now we see that shakeup happening. Right now we see planet Earth in like this big ass shakeup or whatnot. And so you see people awakening, quote unquote, people questioning, people wanting a different change, people wanting to create their own narratives, people actually critically thinking, you know, as we call it, glitching. They glitch in the matrix. And so that'd be obviously that's a problem for those that run the matrix, that designed the program, interdimensional beings that designed the program, because they didn't want humans to ever know that you can create your own program, you can ascend on out of here. This is a prison planet. This is they look at you as loosh. They feed off of you as loosh. These are um archons. I don't want to get too deep, but they create these NPCs. A human can become an NPC if they sell their energy marker out to this system. Many have, unfortunately. But I want to be clear that when I'm talking about an NPC, say there's just a human that's just unaware, a real actual human that's just unaware. I wouldn't refer to him as an NPC. Like, say they really just like, the thing is, you got to understand that 24/7, there is a 24/7 psyop running on human consciousness, a battle for their mind, their heart, and their soul. 24/7. From the time you come to school, once you enter what, pre-K, kindergarten, to the time your ass graduate high school, then you go to college, it's nothing but programming. You pretty much nothing but getting program, not to think for yourself, not to question, work your 9 to 5, get you a 30-year mortgage, get you a lease on a car or a big ass car note, take out some student debt, buy your house on a 30 for 30 years, and go to work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week at some job that you pretty much underpaid, and do that for 60 years, do retire, take social security out, and it ain't gonna be enough. And so this is what most Americans are programmed to do. And they've been programmed literally since pre-K to build up to that, to build up to a materialistic society, materialism, politics, worship, celebrity worship, you know, that's just the program. This is just literally what, and again, this is not all what planet Earth is about, because you have the abilities and capabilities to unplug, right? And to do your own thing, and to get into other, study more, get into other activities. So we all have our own, we make the decision to do what we want to do. And so, say there are humans, real humans, not NPCs, not AI technology, homunculus, and not uh sellouts, who sold their soul to this Baphomet system. I'm not talking about them. And it's, if people sold their soul, whatever, I'm talking about take an offer or a deal. Um, that's not necessarily an NPC either. Again, it's the ones that take money to go after innocent humans. That is the ones that participate in the Fusion Center, quote unquote Fusion Center Citizen Core watch group shit, aka gang stalkers. Those motherfuckers, those are NPCs in my eyes. But just because somebody didn't know, they was deceived, and they took a deal, or they decide not to participate in that, that's different. I'm not talking about this. I also want to make that clear, and I wish I could find a better word for them. But yeah, citizen core harassers that take money to do it. Those are NPCs in my eyes, as well as the AI holographic homunculus that this matrix has created. Now I know humans don't know. A lot of humans don't know about that yet, but many do. Well, yes, they have the technology to do that, and they've been doing it. And we're not talking about merely cloning. We're literally talking about homunculus creation. That's been going on for thousands of years, and so it's very obvious that, I mean, to me, that I won't say it's very obvious, but yes, you can do this. It's been going on for thousands of years, and they have uh, forbidden the practice amongst regular alchemists, esotericists. Again, they keep all this stuff hidden. It's supposed to be hidden knowledge. And so those are the NPCs. But a regular human that's programmed, and even if they are easily programmable, in my eyes, maybe they are easily programmable, right? They're not thinking, they're not questioning. But if they had a soul and they just going along and they not really thinking, that's not an NPC to me. That's just an unaware person. That's just, to me, I wouldn't describe them as an NPC, because we all have levels of different awareness, and we all wake up at different times, and we all have to be on our own journey and path. And so I don't feel like it's fair to, call someone as maybe down on their luck, or maybe don't know something, an NPC. So if I'm using the word NPC, I am not describing those that just don't know, or that gotta do they duties, they obligations, to their family, as far as working, and not, and they didn't know, then those type of things. You gotta figure everything gets corrected and balanced out. My thing is stay free. Try to if you are one of those people, or if you feel like you may be unaware or whatever, just take it slow, and grow at your pace, but make sure that you're growing in some capacity every day, but grow at your pace, and also build up your confidence and your worthiness to rely on your intuition, discernment, to talk to your inner man, talk to your higher self, and talk with the God within. Okay, and ask for that revelation every day before you drink. Ask for revelation if you feel like, okay, I don't know what she's talking about. Oh, that's conspiracy. If you think everything is a conspiracy theory, you're most likely programmed. And so ask for that revelation. But nah, when I'm using the word NPC, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about um just a random ass human with a soul that just don't know any better, or that's not that's just easily programmable. So I personally wouldn't I don't need to degrade people that don't know or are at a different level. So that is not my definition of NPC. Is someone that is programmable, someone who finally blindly follows popular opinion without critical thinking. Because I do know that the social engineering of the education system has literally taught all humans never critically think. Don't be creative. Don't invent. Don't think of innovation. Don't think of coloring outside the lines. Don't think outside the box. Don't, it's very much, you know, stay in the status quo and don't question and keep your motherfucking head down and do what so I think that people have to undo their programming, and that's everybody's responsible for their own salvation, and everybody's responsible uh for their enlightenment and for their ascension. Yes, I do think that. But if someone is not at that level in this lifetime, that's on them. That ain't, it's no reflection on me, and we don't need to degrade them. Saying anything, calling them an NPC is not gonna make them enlightened or make them get their shit together. They gonna keep doing what they doing. So, like the Buddha said, not everybody is meant to awaken in a lifetime. Even the Kundalini awakening. There's different types of awakening, by the way. But even say such as something as the Kundalini, not everybody's meant to experience that in a lifetime. Some of you may only partially experience that and have to have it in stages. Your first year, you may have a part of awakening. Then you have to wait the next year, then next year, then maybe 5 years from now, and you start waking up. It can be a slow, gradual process. You may have a transcendental awakening. There's different types, and so wherever you fit in, you may have an awakening that is more geared to a specific chakra. You may even create your own chakra for all you know, and have your awakening that way. I mean, there's different types of ways this look like. Maybe you have it through asceticism. Maybe you have it through agori. Maybe you'll have it through devotion. Maybe you have it through mysticism. Maybe you have it through Sufism. Maybe you have it, so it varies. And what's important is your own uh, path to your divinity in a way that resonates with your higher self, in a way that serves you, and that is not harmful to the people around you, your fellow man. I mean, it's as simple as that. Whatever path that is. And so, an NPC is, again, from my definition, citizen core harassers who take money from the system to sell out their fellow man, aka gang stalkers. And those that run the system, they're homunculus. They're homunculus AI that are pretty much archons. Again, this is interdimensional, but we got to figure technology does have a very spiritual component of this. This is why our government barters for technology knowledge from interdimensional beings that are more high level than them. And then they think it like what the thing is with humans, especially like even with certain bloodline families, they were under the presumption because an interdimensional being was more highly intelligent than them, more powerful than them, can access more dimensions than them, that meant that they had power or God, or they should sell to them, or what can we give in order for you to give us access to that power, that type of thing. And so many people talk some really shitty deals, and this is why you see the entertainment industry, they always talk about you take the oath, and you gotta sell something, sell your soul to get to a certain levels, and go higher levels and higher levels and higher levels. And so again, people were under the presumption that this universe was ran or by a being, because that being has more power than them. this is what humans think. It's the same thing. And so I think it's just like a human lie, a species could lie, a being could lie, an entity could lie. So I don't understand. Anybody could tell you anything if they have more power. That's like a kid don't know shit, right? It's like a baby that don't know nothing, maybe 4 or 5 years old. But they mom to them is all knowing. They mom and they dad, they mom is all knowing. They mom is like God to them. And so when the mom could be saying, say the baby want, I literally did this one time with a kid that was like 5 years old. I had a 5 year old kid that wanted to eat like some crazy pixie stick dust with like, it was like these, it was like these Smartie sticks that was made by, I want to say like Willy Wonka or something. But it had like all this dye in it. It was like a blue candy that was like pixie dust. They used to like sell these, and growing up, these were really popular in the hood. And it's like a straw. You open up the straw and like this powder comes out, and it's blue powder or pink powder, and it's just chemicals, and it's supposed to be like something that the kids love. And so I think he was like 5 or 6 years old. He wanted to eat this. Like he was about to open it up. And me being an adult, I literally told him, I said, if you eat that, and I showed him like these pictures of these crazy gangrene, um, crazy like flesh falling off type things. I said, if you eat that, I said, that's a poison. It got dye in it. It's not good for you to eat that. And he was like, no, what, he wouldn't believe me. He's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So I went online and showed him. I showed him these pictures of these crazy flesh falling off and all this shit. I said, that's what happens to people who eat these sticks. And without question, he believed me. Threw that stick so fast in the garbage, and he never ate a stick like that since then. Never. Didn't eat chemical dye, you know, because he was looking like he really wanted it. I could see the looks in it because it's just like sugar, so like the sugar is kind of like a heroin. And so he's looking like he was looking like, damn, really messed up my you done fucked up my eye. But I had told him, I said, you don't want to eat that. And he threw it away. And I said, you don't want to. So that's what, that kind of dynamic, that's the dynamic with, again, the average human probably don't even know what I'm speaking of. I'm talking about the ones that's higher up, the ones that actually run it, the humans that you think have all the power, right? That's the dynamic between the interdimensional beings that the humans that are in power have to answer to. That's the same dynamic. It's literally the same dynamic. It's like you're telling a kid, hey, and maybe it not be that example, but it'll be, if you don't do this, or I have this power, I can grant you this, I can give you this, I can do this, I can do it. And a human not really knowing any better, and they seeing this being doing shit. They clearly see it with their own eyes of the being teleporting them to you, teleporting with them, and you see them flashing their hands, and you seeing them being able to manifest something at will, and touch your damn forehead and burst your pineal gland open at will and all this stuff. So these is what these humans see, and it's like, oh shit, this really must be, a god, or this really must be, a very powerful being, or a powerful extraterrestrial, whatever it is, whatever they think. But beings lie, and so that's kind of what we're dealing with, unfortunately, even today. In 2024, as we speak, we are dealing with the ramifications of the fallout of higher interdimensional beings that just straight up lied about shit to humans, just straight up lie for their own power and their own greed. And I know people are like, well, these people they were at the kid level of consciousness. They didn't. It's like this was like a playground to them. This was like a play net. Planet Earth was play net to them. It was like them playing a fucking video game. You know how you got to play. You play Grand Auto Theft. What is it? Grand Theft Auto? You play these games, Mario Brothers and all that, Mortal Kombat, and you playing these games, and maybe, maybe Grand Theft Auto, you got to tell a lie to get to, it just that type of shit. That's how they saw it as. That's all they saw it. It was fun town. They were generating energy that way. It was the only way they even. And then eventually, the consciousness got so low from them never really ascending, and they started to actually feed off of this and become like they feeding off of life force energy as they're losing their life force energy. They feeding off the life force energy of humans who have heart, who actually like, oh, humans have something that, certain dimensional beings don't have, interdimensional beings don't have, because they're a hybrid. And so some humans, not even some, but anybody that's like the hybrid type human, um, they're food. They are cannon fodder to these beings, you know. And so but the thing is, here's the loophole in the game. The human at any time, if they do wake up, they don't have to be cannon fodder. You can actually be more powerful than them. This is what they don't want you to know. This is why you have 24/7 programming, 24/7 psyops, 24/7 distraction, 24/7 news program. Go to school, go to work your ass for 40 hours a week, and don't think nothing at a job that you hate. And that way, you don't ever become enlightened. So this is what they do. Um, and so at any moment where you decide not to participate in their simulation, and say, oh, let me create my own IPU. Let me create my own simulation. Why gotta create every mind is universe? The universe is mental. Why the fuck I gotta follow your shit? I don't need to be mind controlled by you. I don't need to be MK'd ultra by you. I don't need to follow your programming. Then, boom. Oh shit. They're gonna come after you. They're gonna send all their NPCs after you. Oh, and we talk about Derma Urge AI high level technology. Like all of the holographic NPCs are coming after you. The entire computer is so deep, it's so intricate. That's when you start seeing, if you really, really up there, if you really, really fuck with these people and mess with their shit, you'll start seeing your bank accounts frozen. You'll start seeing, you're losing your job, attack your money, you get evicted from your house. You'll start really seeing some really horrific things that could possibly happen in an extreme level if you're really that big of a threat. If they cannot kill you, if you're big of a threat and they can get and is the benefits outweigh the risk in terms of knocking you off, they just gonna knock you off. But if it doesn't if it's too much of a risk, if it's too dangerous to knock you off, then that's when it's like we gotta really, really, really try to find a way. But the thing is, it's still rigged. If that person starts to, if they're in the process of creating their own narrative and their own IPU, it's really nothing you can do. It's really nothing you can do. And then then if they fully wake up as a human, if you say if it's a human that really, really decides to wake up, all of their light codes, all of their aspects of DNA, they ask their galactic seed family for help and all the righteous ancestors for help, ask God for help, then at that point, it's really nothing they can do. That's why you see people talk about, oh, I escaped the matrix. I'm a chosen one. I awaken. You have people saying that, oh, I open my third pineal gland, all this stuff. There's some humans that have done that. There's some humans that decide to, they say, I'm going to go off grid. I'm going to go off grid. I don't want to, some humans become ascetics. That is why a lot of the enlightened people, they do become ascetics. They do live monastic lifestyles. One, because it's simpler, because once you get rid of the desires, then the Dermerge can use the desires against you once they decide to come after you. If you are one of these people that I gotta have things, like material things, gotta have a lot of things, and you try to go after enlightenment, that's why it says it'd be much harder for, they say, a camel. It'd be much harder for a camel to for a camel to walk in an eye of a needle or something like that, to stick their needle, stick a needle in their eye, than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Now we're talking the code. That's a very powerful light code. Kingdom of heaven is the enlightenment stage of becoming an ascended master, is to ascend into godhood. It's not actually because, oh, you were a rich man or you're going to hell. It's not that type of thing. We're talking about ascension. And the reason why is because this is a system that is ran by Babylonian, Luciferian, botched Freemasonry. It's not the original. And so they have it set up where, everything is about contracts, everything is about deals, everything is about, we give you material things, you bow down to our system, you take oath to our system, and you protect that system. And so, yeah, we'll give you riches, but your free will is stolen in terms of the rules you got to follow and the things you cannot do, the things you cannot say. And you're so into the material root level, the root chakra, that you don't become enlightened. You don't have time to ascend. You don't have time to study. And so if you're wondering why do the Buddhists and why do these monks and why do nuns, why do they go to the asceticism, or even the way John the Baptist was living? John the Baptist was also ATI, for those who know what that means, just like Yeshua, just like King David. The reason why It's clearly, and if you try to have both, then like it says, you cannot serve two masters. It's the same thing. When you try to do both, if you are ascending, mind you, we have a matrix simulation running this thing. They got then this technology is very old, very very old. It's stolen technology that they stole it. It's a stolen, botched technology, um, but it's a real one. Where they can create humongous NPCs and uh, various and turn a whole dirt. They release the whole merge on you. And if you want what they have, if you really want these material things, Rolls Royce, Mercedes Benz, and you still are trying to glitch the matrix, and you're trying to glitch their system by building your own IPU, but wanting what they have, then it's going to be hard for you to enter in the quote unquote kingdom of God. It's hard for you to reach enlightenment. And so that is why so many just take the ascetic lifestyle. They say, you know what? This is why Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, had run into the same thing. Siddhartha Gautama, if you study how he ended up in the streets from being a prince, and saw what he saw. It was because they was trying to program him in that monarch stuff, and he said, "Oh," he ran away. And when you talking about the reasons for suffering, the number one cause of dissatisfaction, of human dissatisfaction, the number one cause of human suffering is desires. And what he really meant by that was, some people say, well, it's desires unfulfilled, but no, in the raw sense of it is, at this time, this system comes about, this Babylonian contract system. And if you want things, and you want fame, and you want fortune, you want to go to the next level, and you have all these desires, you want the money, whatever they have, and you don't understand true enlightenment, you don't understand what it means to really validate yourself, you don't understand what's really entail for you, desires. So you go and do sign that contract and do whatever. This is a 1,000-year system. This is not a new system, what you see in Hollywood, right? It's not new at all. Then that's going to be your suffering. The number one cause of human dissatisfaction is suffering, is desires. That's why he said that. The number one cause of human suffering is desires. This was his IQ. This is what he felt. This is the narrative he was writing, and he put it out there. That's why he said, go take his ass to a motherfucking tree and just do meditation. Okay, get him some, and just become light body. That was his thing. Okay, how do I get free from all of this? Because I'm not about to be up in y'all. Because he was supposed, prince, him being a prince and being from royal bloodline, he's supposed to help run this matrix. He's supposed to help run this system, and he didn't want to. Same with Yeshua. Okay, 40 days, he does the 40-day fast and whatnot, and Satan comes in and says, I give you all of this. You bow down and worship me. You take the oath to me. You take the oath to the Baphomet. You get all of this. And obviously Yeshua says, what the fuck? No. What means it gain a whole world but lose the soul? Because you're losing your free will, you're losing your consciousness, your ability to think that's what the soul, you're losing your consciousness. Because once you're in, you're in. Same thing is going on in Hollywood today. And so this is what they were trying to forewarn. This idea of the number one cause of human suffering is desire. Is it desires unfulfilled? Is it, the thing is, when you first get in it, you think it, because you get your the concept of wanting things, the concept of coveting, the concept of ravenous materialism, that does cause suffering. Now you may have these things, right? You get all the cars, Lamborghini, Mercedes, Rolls Royce, blah 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 blah, all this money. But then when they come knocking, and they actually, you got to do this, you got to say this, you got to defend this, you got to go out there and do this. You can't do this, you can't say this. Here are the rules. You got to do this. You got to bend over. You got to da da da. You got to do, and that's when you're like, oh shit. And I could show you Even Cardi B is as recent as 2023 was literally, and she erased these tweets, but she was literally, I want to blow my brains out. I want to die. I want to die. Every celebrity will get suicidal. Katy Perry, she was suicide. I was, remember, look at this stuff up. Katy Perry, all this money. Someone see suicide. Megan Thee Stallion, oh, got all this money. I'm suicide. She literally made a whole song talking about it, and she admitted that all these celebrities depressed. Everybody depressed. They're suicidal. You know, Kendrick Lamar had these issues. This is a running thing, or that they would turn to drugs. Okay, some of them actually turn to drugs. Obviously, they have handlers and all that stuff that put them on the drugs, but it's not a coincidence that you have all these wealthy, even Elon Musk doing all types of fucking drugs, ketamine, and I mean, why are you doing drugs? Like, you're the richest man on the planet. You have like, why would you need to alter your state of consciousness? You know, when you have the access to actually just become enlightened. But it don't work that way. This don't work that way. So it'd be easier for a camel to walk in the eye of a motherfucking needle, walk his eye into a motherfucking needle, than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And didn't say you can't do it. I think the only one that was, but King Solomon. I mean, it's probably the only one, but he rigged and glitched the system by taking control over very powerful entities, very powerful entities in that the archons were afraid of, the ones that are running the matrix, more powerful than I just say the interdimensional beings that's running the system. I'll just say that. Okay. And also had favor of God, had all these, had a powerful bloodline, powerful ass ancestors, his own covenants, his own, so it was a lot easier, and so you can do that. And I'm pretty sure there's more examples of what that even looks like. That's the only one I can think of offhand. But I'm not pushing. I'm not saying that everybody needs to go and practice asceticism. Like, you need to go at it. No. But I'm saying that's just the reason why you see it more prevalent throughout every thought system, spiritual system. A lot of people that become enlightened, you'll see them denounce certain things. They go off grid, even if they not enlightened, but they just aware, and they just say, you know what, I don't want a part of this shit. That they'll live meager. They practice stoicism. A lot of people that practice stoicism, right? Minimalist lifestyles, right? Those who practice the minimalist lifestyle, stoicism, they realize if you can cut out all this shit out your life and stop all these desires, I gotta buy this. It's gonna make this. These external things don't really make us happy. And then a lot of them say, we can't take it with us. And so that's one way to look at that, and that helps you when you do work on your ascension and your path, and you do want to create your IPU and your own narrative, your own simulation, your own universe. When you do get on, when you work on it, when they come at you, and I'm talking to chosen ones and those that are targeted at TIs, when they come at you, it's so much easier. It's so much easier, but also you have to be very, very, very intelligent in how you maneuver through that system. Now, it is just easier to be like, you know what, I'm just going to become an ascetic monk and fucking and just, like John the Baptist, live off of locusts and wild honey and just live in the forest. Shit, fuck it. There are many that do that. That's why there's a lot of homeless people. A lot of them homeless people don't think maybe some may be on drugs, whatever, but a lot of them homeless people are fucking brilliant. They genius. They know too damn much. They know a lot. That's why a lot of them are former military, high level military at that. And they just they said, fuck it. I can't deal with this. I can't be a part of this. And I'm not paying no rent. They know that paying taxes is a fraud. They know that paying rent is a fraud. They know the mortgage system is a fraud. They know the education system is a fraud. They know all this shit. They already know it. They already know it's a game. They don't want to work 40 hours a week for no random ass corporation to make them rich. They don't want to wait for 60 years old to be retired. So, I mean, there are literally people that are homeless that know this stuff, what I'm saying. And you can hear from the way they talk and the way they they'll know some shit. And they just check out. They're like, I don't got time for that. They don't have time for this whole matrix shit. And then what we have today is they're criminalizing homelessness. They're demonizing. And that's by design, because that's why, like, remember when it was a homeless white guy that worked at the Salvation, that was watching and monitoring the Salvation Army, right? And he was trying to tell people that what they was doing to the Salvation Army was taking them in the back, and they hurried up and cut the news off or whatever. They was killing them, killing homeless people, because they know. Because here's the thing: this derma urge part of the AI of the system itself is to destabilize the most brilliant and the most spiritually gifted, believe it or not. That's actually a part of the program to destabilize them. And so the first destabilization process is the housing, make them homeless. That's actually a part of the AI design of this Derma-Urge for those who don't fall in line or are too intelligent. And so that once that's successfully completed, they know who they got off. That's why that guy got on the news and was like, "Hey, they're killing the homeless people. They're taking us in the back in the Salvation Army." Da, 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 da. And they hurried up and turned it off. Like, oh shit. That's why. It's very systematic and it's very well calculated. They what they do is they get a diagnosis on your ass and then they hope your ass to self destruct. It's all by design. I've seen it countless of times with Black Americans. I've seen it with Americans in general. You can study it. It's textbook on the money. They try to show you this, and they clone Tyrone when they showed the Black homeless person really knowing what was going on and who was, and they sound like they crazy, but no, the motherfucker just knew. And so this is what they do. And so it's not the same like back in the day where you can really check out and just go and live on your own and just check out. Now, say if you were a TI or you a chosen one, you actually gotta like really, really, really be a super soldier in a sense in terms of your mind, because they're gonna attack the finance aspect and the housing aspect. So say you say, "Oh, okay, I don't give a fuck about that. I'll just become a monk. I'll just be an ascetic. I'll be an enlightened Buddhist or a guru. I'll just become a god." Okay, and so you end up, you can't go into these forests, or can't. A lot of everything is private property now. State parks, you know what I mean. So say you do you can't go and try to do the ascetic lifestyle. You actually have to at some point. Yes, you still have to find a way to have that time and location freedom and financial freedom to actually find a way to get off grid. You know what I mean? You still it's incredibly difficult in America to try to take on an ascetic lifestyle without any income, um, because the destabilization process is written into the AI program to get you in that state, so it's easier to control you and round your ass up. And so for anybody that's dealing with such a situation as a TI or a chosen one, um, you have to push. You have to, for one, understand, you know, that you can create your own IPU. That's first off. That you can glitch and reprogram this thing to your liking, and for your benefit. And that means tapping into your higher self, tapping into your greatest creativity, and finding what you love and what you're good at, and finding a way to generate income off of that in whatever capacity that you can, or being very, very, very strategic about how you go about things. So maybe you go back to school and get a refund check so you could survive. Whatever you got to do, whatever the fuck you got to do, even if you know that some of your peoples is in on what you know what's going on, and they know was they in on it, but you just played dumb. I've seen that. I've seen Black Americans do that shit too. They play super, super dumb. They play down their intelligence so low. They'll act like they're program. I've seen Black Americans act like they're NPCs and act like they don't know shit, but they really fucking geniuses and really, really very powerful spiritually. And they don't want nobody to know because they clicked up on things on the system. And see, with me, what I found out, I just blabbed my fucking mouth. But like, and that was I would say that wasn't the most intelligent thing to do. But at the time, my wiring was just it wasn't one that was really like things work out. Things be a blessing in disguise, but at the same time, I got away with that shit. But very few people get away with doing that. Okay, and so I don't recommend anybody to do that. The my strategy or the Ryan Garcia strategy, like hold off on it. Okay, once you become awakened, right? If you become awakened, it is better to keep it to yourself and to keep everything to your motherfucking self. Okay. And don't go and tell your friends or your family, "Oh, this is what I experienced this." And don't go talking to them, because they may be put on your ass. They may they may actually sell your ass out to these fusion centers and to this citizen course. They may be You never know. A lot of these people, a lot of this stuff is so deep, and it is a cult, and it has to do with secret society. So you don't know who's into what. So you can't go and blab your mouth. And I've seen Black Americans now that I've been really assessing stuff. That now that I know that there are Black Americans that know what I'm talking about and know, and they keep things very tight lipped, and um, they are not uh, going to show. You know, they'll even know who's in on it. They'll even know who sold them out or who put them on the list or who did what. Who, and they'll still be playing around and hey, smile, you know, playing it down so they can and getting their money and doing stacking their money, do what they can do so they can flip the thing or flip the script. Don't tell nobody shit. Yeah, of course, and they're right to do that. They are right and exact in doing that. And so you have to you know whatever side you fall on, maybe if you're in a quantum entanglement session or you in two different dimensions at once, maybe you do take my route or a Ryan Garcia route or a Cat Williams route. You just run your singing like a canary. It happens. Sometimes it's uncontrollable. Maybe God takes over your damn consciousness and speak through you. It ain't nothing you can do anyways. That's literally what happened to me. People call it possession or she was possessed by a demon, whatever. But whatever people want to say. That's enough. But if God takes over your damn brain and start communicating through your ass, what are you gonna do? You can't even control what you said or what you like. It is what it is. And so, if that happens to you, you most likely gonna land on your feet and be okay. Anyways, if it was coming from a real powerful, spiritual, loving space, and you wasn't really trying to harm nobody and trying to drag, you know what I mean? You'll land on your feet. So you have to trust that process too. So, and again, you will not be able to control it. I was not able to control that. This is not a psychotic break. We're talking about quantum entanglement on steroids. Okay. And so if that happens to you, trust the process. God will get you through it. And you would just most likely been chosen as a vessel to speak a message, to be a prophet, or to give a message to to and believe it. The people that need to hear that message, they're going to get it because you were already being monitored. You were already being tracked, and so say that happens to you. Say you do get a quantum entanglement session, and you go on Twitter or you go make a YouTube video or something. You just singing like a canary, or some things that you revealing shit, possibly spiritual stuff that no human is supposed to know, that only the people at the top are supposed to know. But you just going on. This is what happened to me. Just trust the process. That it's for a reason, and you're going to land on your feet, and that it is a higher power doing it, and um you'll be good. You'll be good. This is different than trying to uh this is different than being foolish. Okay, it's a difference, you know. And even though sometimes I beat myself up like, oh my gosh, I wish I didn't said this. I literally remember, like I know that was quantum entanglement. I know that there would have been no way that I would have been able to control that and stop that from happening. It was meant to happen. And if that happens to you, just know it was meant to happen, in that the message that the people that need to get that message, they are going to get it, because it is an entity working through you, a God working through you to talk to them assholes that's fucking with you, or to get a whole message out to humanity, whether humanity listens or not. We already know. Like, again, shit. We talk about NPCs for a reason, but again, there's also, a lot of humanity is programmed in unaware. So you could say something and it probably will, they probably will just think you're crazy. But say the average human just think you're crazy, right? The intelligence agencies don't. The military don't. The people the occultists and the secret societies, the highest levels of those secret societies don't. They are not going to think you're crazy. Okay? They the ones that would put the shit that been monitoring your ass. Okay, and so say you have a quantum entanglement session and you start speaking too much, and you start prophesying, you start calling motherfuckers out because you know that the people that was all in fucking with you. The rest of the human race and rest of the humanity, they may say, oh, that person don't know what they talking about, oh, they cracked, or they this, or they that. You're gonna be fine. And just know that the people, the message they need to get to, they are taking it very serious, and they are adjusting accordingly, and they are trying to, like, they got to do their investigation of it. But for the most part, they know. And let's say the intelligence agencies don't take it serious, right? Or the military, or they just say, okay, whatever. We still gonna keep doing what we doing. The interdimensional beings. This is where it only counts. The interdimensional beings that run this whole thing, they're gonna take it serious. They're gonna, because if this is a real quantum entanglement with the Creator God, and you're speaking in tongues on, in a language that no human on this planet will know, but only the interdimensional beings will know, or fallen angels would know. You're getting deep. Only they would know ancient languages that nobody on this planet know, and you able to talk it, and you talking to them, and they decipher. They can decipher this shit. They know what this shit. And they know what planet it came from, dimension it came from. They say, "Oh shit, this is real." And then people don't. Then they shut everything down. They take it serious. Okay, and that's what will happen to you. So don't be scared. Don't feel like, if that happens to you, just know that you gotta trust. You gotta trust in God. You gotta faith in yourself, and faith in your higher self as well. Your higher self knows infinite auto conscious intelligence of the likes you have never seen. It does. I mean, you have no idea. You have no idea what languages ancient DNA, ancient languages that's embedded in your DNA, because you are a hybridization. And so when it happened, and it is going to happen, I'm not going to be the only person that dealt with that. We in 21st century shit type, 21st century type prophecies and quantum entanglement and quantum superposition. It looked different than what was 2,000 years ago and all this stuff. This is the new, what they call, they hate the new age term, but this is the new age. This is a whole different ballpark. And so things look different because messages got to be sent. We in the age of social media. You could go on Twitter, YouTube, whatever, and say what you got to motherfucking say. And if you are truly a chosen one or a TI, then you are already being monitored. And so they are going to get the message. It is what it is. They're going to, just like right now, you think that I don't care how much they shadow ban or how much they fuck with my numbers to make it seem like ain't nobody listening. You better believe these motherfuckers got a nice little satellite, nice little communications, telecommunications, radio transducer signal that's monitoring this damn YouTube live right motherfucking now. Even if nobody is watching it right now, this is what they do. I'm telling you for a fact, I know that they do this. That's why I actually come on here. Believe it or not, when most of my videos I be talking to those that I know do that participate in, that are monitoring me. I'm very much aware of this, but also for the humans that do decide to come across it, or I appreciate that, and I hope they take some from this. But even my master teacher used to say, "Girl, you be talking on people's heads anyway. They're not even listening." I mean, we know what you know that we know, but it's too early. It's too way too early for humans, and they don't know what you're just talking over their head anyways. But that's not my point and my purpose to do that. That is never my goal or intention. Oh, why would I want to do that shit? Of course I want people to understand me, and I want to understand people. But I do know that there are beings that can very much so understand my motherfucking ass that's on this planet. And so I'll be talking to them very directly. I'll be talking to them. There are beings on this planet that even look like you, that even talk like you. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Every iota. And if they don't, they go and they look and they research and be like, damn, what the fuck she do know what she's talking about. But the ones at the highest levels, I be talking to they motherfucking ass. Because I know they're watching through their little satellites. And they do all types of diverting of the number. They'll divert your shit and be able to still watch your shit, but then not give you no views. This is how this shit works. It's real intricate. And so I'll be talking to they motherfucking ass because I know for a fact that they know what I'm talking about. Every little thing that I talk about when I be talking about the language of the gods and the divine feminine Nocti Queen Mothership Part 3, the Atlantean Freemasonry, the original monarch mentalism, intergalactic mentalism, the original teachings of Yeshua. You think them people don't know what the fuck I'm talking? They know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe the average human don't. When I be talking about the different octaves of of the primordial mother, the different octaves of the morning star, the polarities of the morning star, electronegativity between Yeshua and Lucifer. These people know this stuff. The average human may play dumb, or maybe the average human don't know, but they may try to make it seem like, oh, that girl's just crazy. These motherfuckers is behind the scenes and they studying. Okay, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this light code? What's this? What's she talking about? What's this? Or they already know. It's either they already know, or the information I'm releasing, they figure, let's go study more about that. Let's go look in our Vatican vaults. Let's go look in our motherfucking vaults and our ancient books that we done stole and hid for 1,000 years. And let's go look in our little compounds, our secret underground compounds, and see if it aligns with what the hell she talking about. Because let's see what she's. Let's add this stuff up. That's what happens, and I be doing that on purpose because that's how I'm creating my own IPU, and that's how I'm shifting the whole entire frequency of the planet. Because every time I say something, every time I prophesy something, every time I have a quantum entanglement session, anytime I say something, these beings at the top, they listen, go and do whatever they research, or they already know it's true, and they'd say, okay, the Great Mothers really is communicating through this bitch. she chose a nigga from the Buffalo, New York. Like literally the primordial God. But again, it could be anybody, and it will be anybody, and it can be anybody, and it will be anybody. Okay, I'm just the one taking the hits early. Okay, and so be it. But this is what happens when I be talking about that stuff about the conjuring of the spirits and the creation of the dark child, moon child, all this stuff, and the original sciences of what that was and what it looked like. They know what I'm talking about is real. They know it's true. And they know the path that in some of the things that's in my epigenetics and the things that's in my genealogy that I had to go through, that my bloodline got involved in it. And so they already know, and they track that. And it's not just me. They know that about every Black American, every white American, anybody that's been in this damn country for a couple hundred years. They already got the scoop on your ass when they want it, how they want it. I'm talking about the level above the damn CIA and the government. They already know who's who. It's nothing. And so a lot of times when I'm doing these videos and people may say, oh, that's down, that's eccentric, that's crazy. I'm talking to them. That's why. I'm talking to them, and I'm talking to humanity, and I'm praying that and hoping that and knowing that there are humans on this planet that are going to get what I'm saying. If not now, eventually. If not now, the damn show eventually. They'll pick up on it. They But on this topic of NPCs, if you're dealing with NPCs as a chosen one or as a TI, because not all TIs are chosen ones, but they are TIs TIs become TIs for different reasons, right? But if you are a person that has to deal with NPCs in the form of gang stalkers, you know, you have options. You can choose the ascetic lifestyle, or you could be either you're gonna do the ascetic lifestyle, but you still gotta have that super soldier mind, or you're gonna take the route of playing out and just going along, just acting like, and just getting your money and figuring out, you'll do that route. You'll play down and just play dumb. Or you will work on your ascension and vibration quite considerably. And if you're gonna do that, that's fine. But you're gonna have to have a super soldier motherfucking mentality, because they are going to attack your housing, freeze your motherfucking bank, close your bank account, all types of crazy shit they'll do. And so you have to deal with that as well. And so you have to become a super soldier in the sense of in spirituality. As simple as that. And you have to you won't have to muster up every single last righteous ancestor you got, every single god you got, or god, every single angel that you can muster, you're gonna have to really, you're gonna have to, and a part of, like, some of us get lucky. We may have people who are aware of generational curses, or how bloodlines say you have a grandfather or a great great grandpa that broke the oath or whatever, and that shit just carried down throughout your whole bloodline. There will be some that know how to conjure, because these are these would be like master masons or something, right? And they'll know how to conjure entities to protect their child if they have a child. um and so sometimes you may not have to even do any work. See, I just got fucking lucky. I got so lucky because my family took a route. They got involved in some shit. Somebody broke their oath or whatever, and they had to make sure that my level of protection. And also, again, this is a botched science. So say they do try to make you a moon child or something, or they try to conjure spirits on you that they think is going to work for the system. And like, say you're trying to program a monarch, right? And you insert entities in them through the embryo during the time of conception. Um, what if you don't understand the octaves of that entity, or what if you was told misinformation, and so you don't know the whole science because you you simply was not told it, or simply was hidden from you, so you simply don't know. And so a lot of times, honestly, that's another aspect that also would happen with me. I'll give you an example. Say you have uh family members, or ancestors, whatever. They are looking for the ascension of a bloodline through a heir. They're looking for, they have to make a, or you'll be born literally as a sacrifice or something, right? You'll be born, conjure, it's several reasons for why this happens. Sacrifice, they count on you to bloodline ascension. They're going to feed you to the system, or they're giving you power to accelerate the bloodline through the insertion of certain entities. Could be that. But again, say if they say you have one ancestor or even a parent that's know they about to have this child, and they know the craft, and they'll say, I want this child to be an octave of Yeshua. I want this entity, and I want the entity of Yeshua inside of this child. And they know this science, and they know how to conjure up that energy, and they know how to do it. Then you got another one, this would be an ancestor. They want the bloodline to usher in the divine feminine or something like that. So they conjure up. They want to insert the entity of Kalima in you, constantly Kalima, Kalima, in this embryo, Kalima, Kalima, Kalima. Then you got part of your family as Luciferians, and they kind of trying to literally put the spirit of Lucifer inside of the child. Lucifer, Lucifer, Lucifer. And so this is literally something that can happen. It has happened. It has happened to me. And so I know what this stuff looks like. And so you got these converging energies that you're trying to insert. Again, this is they insert entities into embryo to make them monarchs, to make them sacrifices, to give them power, to give the bloodline power. It could be anything to usher in a new whole fucking paradigm. It could be anything. And so then you have converging energies, and they thinking they could be trying to usher in the antichrist, whatever. And you're saying you're actually doing the spells and rituals of this gonna be Kalima, this gonna be Lucifer, this gonna be Yeshua. And you got these different energies, but then the human beings that's actually doing this science don't even know that there are two Lucifers. What if they don't have the knowledge of what that even means? What if they don't have what if they don't understand like what Yeshua really was? What if they don't even understand what Kalima represents? And they just read it in these occult books, and very surface level, and they craving power, and they not really digging into the deeper aspects of the coded knowledge of these entities. And then they again, some stuff is literally hidden from humanity. They literally just don't know it. They don't know that there's two Lucifers and that there's different octaves. They don't know that. They don't know uh, that Yeshua creates octaves. He's been creating octaves on his own since he ascended from planet Earth. They don't know that there could be secret great cognizance missions and God having their own intelligence agencies and all this stuff that they work stuff out when you try to tamper with certain dimensions and certain you trying to conjure up spirits and entities from certain dimensions and all of that's being monitored by even a higher power. The humans don't know that on this planet. And so they go messing with shit, messing around with stuff. And they get more than what they motherfucking bargained for. Because you tampering with power that you don't even know and understand. Or that you just, you know, for the wrong intentions. Because you thought you was going to get the Antichrist. You thought you was going to get the whole bloodline into a new level of power, of wealth, or money, or whatever it could have been. Right? And so this has happened with people. And this is another reason why the Dermerge would turn against those who break their programming, those who break their monarch programming, those who go off script. They call breaking the MK Ultra. This is serious stuff. This is serious stuff. Unfortunately, some people they put entities on a child as a sacrifice to feed the beast in the form of beta sex kitten monarch programming. They got that. That's what the porn industry and all these, you know, sex slaves and all this stuff is horrific, but it happens. It is real. It's very real. We have a lot of the child stars that go through that, all that trauma and all that trauma. That's by design. Their parents are well aware of that. Most of them, a lot, and then the ones that don't, you know, they get them out quickly, or you know, they made a big mistake and they didn't know. But most of the time, the parents motherfucking knew and sold their kid out. Let's be real. And so, in a situation where you'll have, you know, an occult order, and sometimes it can be a whole society that is the one that's like, this child is going to be Kalima, this child is going to be Yeshua, this child is going to be Lucifer in the flesh. You know, you start putting all these entities on them, and then it's like, okay, y'all, you humans don't have the motherfucking clearance to even do no shit like that. I don't care who told you what or what you think you know or you think you got on earth or whatever. Y'all don't have the clearance to mess with them levels of power. That like Kalima is a very primordial power. You know. Again, there are two Lucifers. Fallen angel, child one. This is the one that the most humans are familiar with. The other one has been hidden from humanity. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so you tap into one. So deep. I can't even get into this. I don't even give all this information out. But you thinking you go and you, this child gonna do this, and God has different plans. It don't work that way. Then you got one of the family members get so guilty. They feel so guilty and they hurried up and they that's when they could. That's how Octave of the Yeshua energy got it. I'm talking about myself, by the way, if you guys haven't, as far as like these, what was done to me as far as like conjuring entities and whatnot. And it's deep, and I know I'm gonna lose people. I know people get scared. They're gonna get scared and be like, "Oh my gosh, that is the occult. Oh, that is so." I'm just telling you the life of what someone that has to deal with monarch programming, family, generational families that are in occult societies. I'm innocent in all this. I didn't ask for all this shit. I'm just telling you my story and what and relaying it from the knowledge that's been given to me from God on what had happened to me. And now you get a family member that decide, you know what, this ain't right. You know, I feel kind of this ain't what I want to do. I don't want to. I'm breaking my oath. You got a family member. They start Yeshua, yes, just throwing that into the child. Throwing that. This is what happened to me. They throwing this into the child. That stuff is real. This is how you conjure spirits inside of a human. And God is in control of everything. And so you may think you splitting and creating altars, or you're gonna, you know, and sometimes you can combine octaves. This is a high level science. Again, the most humans on this planet don't do this properly. They are teaching the botched reverse engineered version of this, the satanic version of this. And it has been a failure pretty much on planet Earth. This is why everything is crumbling, because they can no longer do this. But there is the correct way to do this science that is sanctioned, that you have to be trained for, and that you have to be very much initiated into. Is this science that was created by the Order of Kali, the Order of Tahuti, the Dragon Riders? They understand this idea of genetic splicing and creating all these different entities and literally species. You have Homo erectus, Neanderthal, Homo sapien. Then you got, that's just on planet Earth, but imagine when you get into all these different intergalactic species, right? We talk about Anunnaki, Lemurian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, uh, all different types of the lemurs, the theories, all this. That's all created by a very specific dimension. They have the science on how to do that. They know which species get created, what dimension they in, what planet they on. That's something that is very high level. And so the people on planet Earth, they doing all types of shit and doing all botched as reverse version of it. Yeah, people feel like, oh, we can do whatever we want. This is our planet. We got free will. And it's not necessarily humans' fault, because if you've been lied to, you've been lied to. If you been given botched information, you've been given botched information. So what the fuck can anybody do? So it's not even like, oh, you did this, wagging your finger like you're gonna spit. It don't necessarily work like that. But at the same time, anybody that was a victim of that and anybody that was done wrong, justice is gonna prevail. And the correction of whatever people were trying to do to that person, that innocent child, or they're going to do the correction aspect of that. They're going to teach them the correct version of that, how to control that energy, what that looks like. Okay? And so yes, there are octaves of deities on this planet in the form of moonchilds and chosen ones and all this stuff. Of course, throughout all the planet Earth. Very much so. Unfortunately, some never did get, it didn't work out. But in the physical realm, but it always works out in the spiritual realm for everybody that had faced injustice. So I'm just here still in physical flesh until, you know, but I just been able to decipher through the help of God of all of this science and all this information. And so again, this is generational bloodline pacts that I'm just a victim of. Like that it just fell on me. I never signed up. I never said, "Hey, I'll do." Nah. This shit was put on my doorstep. You know, and you become a TI or whatever, you get put on the list of whatever it is. People sell you out. Family members sell you out. It happens. Um, and so I'm certainly not the only one. There are millions in this predicament, and they don't know how that they are being targeted, or they are dealing with with NPCs or whatever it is, precisely because they are a threat. They have ascension abilities. They have higher awareness. They have older souls. It could be that they are old soul, and so that is why you're dealing with what you're dealing with. And so you have to understand that, because you have to constantly think, okay, I have to get to the next level of my soul. I have to focus on my own divinity. I focus on myself and my best. Program my mind. That's what the whole Nocti philosophy is teaching. Program my mind. That's why Nocti philosophy is such a threat to this system. And build out my IPU. Build out my IPU. I've been chosen to be able to do that. It's been a gift for me to be able to do that, to figure that out. No matter how long it takes, you're gonna bump your head, hit, it's not gonna always be perfect, but just know that you got that power. You gotta know that you got power. Can't let you, the whole thing is to make you think you don't have power. Is to get you fear, get you scared, get you to lose your will to live. That's the whole thing. Get you in the mental institution, get you locked up, whatever. People want to provoke you. The NPCs do the provoking. That's why I don't fuck with NPCs, because again, either they are Archon in a human flesh, AI holographic, or they are a human that sold you out. A human that's actually taking money to target you and fuck with you. And that I just don't respect. I just don't respect that. And so it's all going to be trying to get you to react, get you to provoke, get you to do some stupid shit, get you to, catch you slipping. And so you must know that. And the only thing you need to focus on is yourself and working. And it's not easy. And then sometimes you're going to get distracted, you know? It's not easy, but we take one day at a time, and we work to get to that next level. We don't focus on what nobody else doing. We're not comparing with somebody else. Oh, what they are comparing? Oh, I gotta look what she got. What I got. Stop comparing. Stop. Don't be jealous. Don't have work on resentment, and which I am working on because I have resentment. Don't get angry. Don't be angry. Which also I'm working on that. I'm not a rageful anger. I'm not that type of person, but I still feel anger and resentment at certain people that I feel uh, betrayed me. So I'm working on that. But don't. I'm literally working on that very consciously. But don't have anger. Don't have resentment. Don't feel fear. Don't feel grief and sorrow, shame, guilt. Don't feel none of that bullshit. Don't feel jealousy. Don't feel none of that bullshit. Okay, just work on yourself. And at times when you do get angry, you fear, you be very aware of that. Be very aware. Okay, this is my vibration today. This is how I feel. Why do I feel this way? What happened? How can I get out of this? What can do I need to, is it a actual chemical imbalance? Do I need to take some ashwagandha? Do I need to take some ginkgo biloba? Do I need to, like, what do I need to do? Or if it's something much, much deeper. Okay, don't try to self-medicate. We all know what that looks like. We all been there, done that. I've been there, done that. Okay. Um, and by that I'm talking about like drinking. Don't try to go that route to escapism. No, do that mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation will help you. And also positive affirmations. You need to watch a show and take a fucking break and watch a good ass show and make yourself laugh, and funny thing that's gonna make you laugh. Do that shit. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. And so it's all about staying maintaining frequency. If you're one of those in this situation, gotta maintain frequency. You gotta maintain high frequency of that. Unfortunately, that's your quest. And it is like, oh, that's not realistic. It's somewhat realistic once you become aware and ask for more revelations. Ask for um and again, as you're thinking of as you're thinking of high frequencies, your brain is already going to orient your whole world to maintain it. And again, the best way is stoicism and a minimalist lifestyle or an ascetic lifestyle for now, and become a super soldier in your intelligence so where you can really maneuver this shit. But asceticism and stoicism or monasticism, that's going to help you because you got to get rid of, and this is something that I'm dealing with too, because I know I'm very gifted and I know I'm like shouldn't those who have the merit and those who have the talent and the gift be the ones that get the access or get the access and get to be influencing society? And that's just not how it works down here. If they cannot control you, they are not going to give you they're not going to let you do any influencing. Now they'll try to steal your shit or try to figure out how to way to get it up off of you or try to steal it or copy and whatnot. They'll do botched ass versions of that. But if they can't control you, if you're not bowing down to the Baphomet, you're not bowing down to their oath or whatever, they are not. They don't give a shit about none of that. You have to focus on building your IPU and glitching this shit. That's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. If that's even important to you, that's much harder. Or you can just say, I don't give a shit about none of that. I have to find contentment in the soul. I have to find that contentment in the soul and heal my broken heart. The only thing I need to worry about is healing my heart, healing this trauma, healing my past generational wounds, my epigenetics, and ascendant. That's the only thing, and that will help you deal with that aspect of it being normal for in humanity to be recognized for your gifts. That's actually very much in DNA, and it was at one point something that was a real thing. Especially in certain dimensions, like you know gifted children get positions of power, like gifted people who do the work through their lifetimes and through their craft and through their dedication. It's like in certain dimensions, oh, you can do anything you want, and you will influence by sheer merit. You will lead because of your sheer merit, your sheer brilliance, your sheer capabilities, your studies. They say they say do 10,000 hours of something to become a craft. And so say you was one of them, say in a chaos intelligence room, you're a person that studied piano for not let's say not 10,000 hours, but $30,000. And you know that piano in the back of your hand and every key, and you get to compose serious integrals. That's a gift. Chaos Intelligence Room. Okay, you gotta lead the whole. You gotta teach anybody that want to learn piano. You gonna be recognized, and we are going to defer to your expertise and your knowledge on motherfucking piano playing. It can be other simple things, simpler things than that. It can be teaching. It can be science. It can be okay. You did the work. You are the one that got the merit. Or somebody conjured some spirits in you. It could be that too. You understand this shit. We gonna listen to you. We gonna defer to you. You got it. You good. You cool. We go. This is what we love. On this planet, it don't work that way. It's sell your motherfucking ass. It's sell out your other person, sacrifice somebody, and then you'll get money. You don't have to have any talent. You don't have to have any gifts. You can steal gifts from people. You can you can target someone else and bash them so bad to where they don't even realize they are gifted. People get paid to do that on planet Earth. That's how demented this planet is. And so it's completely it's like for those of us that are chosen ones, it's like this is very jarring. Like this is like whoa, because you do get trained, okay, not to be covetous. Like that's why I say don't be covetous, don't be this, because it's like we are discovering of the self, awakening of the self, and awakening of our own gifts, our own unique gifts, and so there is no need to compare. It's very different here on this planet. That's why when I be reading that workbook, and they be saying there is no one that there is. I think that's a little bit extreme. I'm not gonna hold you, but I know that's what King David really felt, and I think it was Nehemiah. It was one of them, but they was like, it is not one that do good on this planet. No, not one. It is not one, and it say that like multiple times throughout the Bible, and I'm thinking like, I know that's how they really motherfucking felt dealing, because this NPC system was set up during this whole thing, right? During um going back literally to Jeremiah, literally going back. Like it is old. And so it really do be feeling like the whole world be against. So when they writing like that and you see them, there is not one that do good on this planet. No, not one. They all. Sometimes you feel like that because you be in your feelings. You be in your. I personally don't think. Again, I think that's a bit extreme, but I understand what they. I understand that feeling. I understand where they was at, and they when they realized what's going on. Because if anybody that can read that book and see, okay, this is a book that's talking about that, letting you fucking know about these archons and these NPCs and these Babylonian Luciferian contract system, and it is letting you know about the Derma Urge and all this stuff. It's a deep ass book. People take it for the surface level on levels I can never fucking understand. But it's giving you some. It's giving you the game. It's giving you some heavy game, and for those of us that can see it, that's what eyes to hear, ears to see. What is it? Ears that hear and eyes to see. Those who had it, like you're gonna get it. It's gonna click. It'll click, and everybody else they'll be in la la land or whatever. That's their business. Ain't no judgment on that, but it will click like you never thought that can click before, and you will see. Whoa. That's why I get it. I get that feeling when he said it is not what I want, because everything is reversed on this planet. They had, it's called a Masonic spiritual credit system of the botched version of Freemasonry, where if those who are in the know, they do not mind soul snatching, sacrificing, stealing gifts off of people, harvesting spiritual credit. They don't give a shit about it. This is what they do. This is how they feel. This is the satanic. They're Satanists. That's how they get down. That's how they roll. Not all of them do that, but I'm just saying, like the ones that get up to like these high levels, and the ones that try to play on your top, the ones that do MK Ultra rituals on random innocent people, the ones that try to like that's very jealous hearted, very look at everything as a competition. Dumb type motherfuckers. Oh, they don't have no problem doing that shit. They don't give a fuck about none of that. None of this. We gonna treat our fellow man like how we want to be treated. We gonna love. They don't give a shit about none of that. And I had to learn that the hard way, because I can't understand that. But I seen it, with my own two motherfucking eyes. And I said, okay. Now I know what I'm dealing with. But that dimension, this dimension is something that is very cumbersome, and it's like, well, I know there is change. Oh, I know for a fact things are changing, will change, have changed. I know for a fact that this dimension will not always be like this, and it is on its last leg, and it is coming to a head even as we speak. Even as we speak, it is coming to a big ass head. Bubbles about to burst. They talk about the Great Reset. They had their version of the Great Reset because they knew something was coming. So it was like, oh, let's hurry up. And again, these people we deal with creating the IPUs or the narrative, the simulation. And so they thinking we going how we been doing. Use our code language that we know to create IPUs, our HECA that create IPU, and we'll do Great Reset through predictive programming, through social engineering, through psyops. This is what we do. Scripted theater, you act it out, it come manifest. This is how they roll. And so they talked about Great Reset. Yo, own nothing and be happy. 2030, 26 Agenda 2063, and oh, we got the pandemic, and this is them like literally trying to create that IPU. And they fucking with some interdimensional beings that created the whole science behind this. And they thinking that they could run counterintelligence with that level of their IPU creation. It don't work that way. They be talking about Godhead shit. And these Satanists, they thinking like, oh, we're God. We can do this too. We can reverse engineer your science. Just like how the interdimensional beings taught us how to. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Hell no. And so this is why you're having IPUs clashing, IPUs and algorithms clashing, and they trying to, okay, what's going on here? Do we just kill these motherfuckers? Oh my god, we do, and it's so much bigger than me. You know, I'm just one of the vessels, pushing some of the buttons behind the scenes, but there are many, and many love to be very, very unknown. You see them working at Walmart. You think some of these again. I showed you that book about how it is very normal for very powerful entities to want to go undetected. The good ones and the bad ones. Okay, and so you will see them looking like the lowly. That's how they roll. That's how they able to do what they do. And I've seen this literally with my own eyes. I know for a fact that there are gods walking around among the Black American race that look regular as hell, no money, no car, no nothing. Big ass gods in the spiritual realm. And they running shit. And they do not want you to know. I've seen this with my own two motherfucking eyes. I've seen it. I have felt it. Not even so much seen it with my own two eyes, but I have felt it. And I'm like, okay. And some of it is not all good. Again, some of these are king demons literally inhabiting, human flesh that's in the hood, literally, you know. And so it gets deep. It's real deep, and it's people that write on about this stuff. I'm not the only one talking about it. It's like, but the thing is, it be so like we just looked at as the people that's just, oh, y'all just some eccentric weirdos. Y'all weird. As they all like to call me, yeah, she a weirdo. Um, you know, but this is real shit. This is real shit. And so it's many that is shifting, able to shift whole dimensions, whole a whole frequency of their region, of their city, of their planet, of their country, and you won't know who doing it. You won't know. Or I mean, maybe the government may know, but like the average human won't know. And so um it's deep. So if you're dealing with these NPCs, NPCs are real. It's not dehumanizing to call them NPCs. Once we establish the definition, it is not an unaware human. It is much more sinister than that. And so I think y'all get the point. I think I belabored the point. Is it about the rain? I just want to see if it's go check the weather here. Let me check. But yeah, y'all be easy for those who watch the playback. Let me see the weather. Hmm. Okay. Okay, so I don't know when you came in. Let's see what time you came in. You came in at 9:57. Okay, so I think I don't know. Maybe you didn't hear what we covered. The actual definition. Well, my definition, JC. And so, um, my conclusion that it's not dehumanizing because we're not talking about actual human beings. When I'm using the word NPC, I'm not talking about a human being. Not at all. Again, I told you I'm talking about the homunculus, the homunculus archon that is created by the artificial intelligence of other interdimensional beings that run planet Earth. That's one aspect of the NPCs, and then the other NPCs are humans that have sold out their humanity and their fellow man to this system for money, aka gang stalkers. Those are NPCs in my mind, and they lose their humanity power if they sign up to do such a thing. If they take money from this system to sell out their fellow man or to target or harass their fellow man. That's what an NPC is in my eyes. A human that's just unaware, a human that just followed the status quo because they was programmed. They got a soul, they a human, they can awaken. That's not an NPC to me. They can awaken at any time. We don't know people's those struggle and so to me, I don't judge that human. They ain't bothering me. What they eat don't make me shit. So I don't have no reason to degrade them or try to dehumanize their humanity just because they unaware. That's if you following the status quo, that show like that's maybe next lifetime. So I'm not talking about someone that just don't know something or just programmable. Easily programmable humans still can ascend, even if they have been fragmented, even if their soul has been fractured in a sense. They can still ascend. They can still recover. They can still wake up. They can still. So I can't rule that off just because you didn't awake or you don't believe in a conspiracy or you're not questioning, you're not critical. That if they got a soul and they not a homunculus working for this derma Earth's AI through AI or through a archon, that is not that's not an NPC. It's just not. That's just an unaware damn human, and hopefully they figure it out. I wouldn't call nobody that just don't know what I know or something NPC. I'm talking about these AI. There are literally AI bots that are holographic in human form that are ran by archons in this bitch. I'm talking about them, and I'm talking about the NPC gang stalkers that literally align with them because they eventually become that because they lose so much of their free will because they take the money. Then they have to go after innocent people. They have to go after innocent TIs or chosen ones to lower other people's vibration to keep this system going, and they do that in exchange for money. That is a very real thing. Again, I showed this affidavit by the chief of the FBI. He is now dead. He was killed. He talks about what I'm talking about here. For anybody that think, oh, that ain't true, that ain't true. This was his name is Ted Gunderson. This was his affidavit. Okay. He said, I spent nearly 3 decades in the FBI between 1951 and 1960. I was an FBI special agent. This is what he's saying. I was promoted as supervisor at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., where I was in charge of organized crime and racketeering investigations covering 26 FBI field offices nationwide, following the assassination of John F. K. Okay. I successfully negotiate. Okay, so I'm going to go here. This is his affidavit, though. I have read the complaint in the current action of Mr. Keith Labala against FBI and DOJ. It is my professional opinion, based on information, knowledge, and belief, that the information sought by Mr. Labella in its FOIA suit regarding gang stalking groups, and gang stalking methods, reasonably describe an ongoing covert nationwide program that is in effect today, and based on my investigations and experience, has been operational since at least the early 1980s. Since the 1980s, gang stalking has increased in scope and intensity and sophistication by adapting to new communications and surveillance technology. The programs that are using the code names Echelon Program, Carnivore System, and Tempest Systems. The Echelon Program is administered by the NSA out of Fort Meade, Maryland, and monitors all email and phone calls in the world. Carnivore System is administered by the NSA out of, oh, I already read that part. Maryland can download any computer system without being traced or otherwise known to the owner. Tempest Systems can decipher what is on any computer screen up to a quarter of a mile away. These programs are negatively impacting thousands of Americans and severely abusing their civil rights on a daily basis. I am a victim of this. I am telling you straight up. And anybody can study my body of work and shit that I'm talking about and understand. Yeah, you is on that list. But I've been on there since I was like way younger than when I even started talking on the public. Okay, and my people, I have family members that's been on that list as well. Based on my investigative work, which includes intelligence from sources such as active and former members of the intelligence services, including the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, and military intelligence, information from informants active in criminal enterprises, and victim testimonies, I have come to the conclusion that thousands of victims have been targeted by an illegal government rogue criminal enterprise that is active 24 hours a day within the U.S. This conspiracy is far too active to be controlled or operated by private enterprise whose goals are achieving financial gain. I just did not just say that. That's what I mean. Though the people that carry this stuff out, these are fucking NPCs to me. These operations require extensive financing with no return on the investment because it's spiritual warfare. That's why it's about keeping unenlightened. It is about keeping the rest of the humans unenlightened and following the status quo, and to keep those who are the chosen ones or those who got who are the potential to become an ascended master or even a freaking deity. It's to target them, to kill them, to gang stalk them, to make them go crazy, to make them self-destruct, to make them get locked up, to get them killed. That's what this program is for. It's spiritual. These operatives require extensive financing with no return on investment. This program's operations are financed by illegal black operations, narcotics, prostitution, child kidnapping, children sell at covert option. They killed this man. Covert auctions for up to $50,000 per child, human trafficking, gambling, and other rackets. This I know to be true. I have documentation and know that throughout the U.S., operating 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, there is central command located within the U.S. with multiple satellite offices. This is what I'm saying. People that do this gang stalking, look at all these satellites on their motherfucking house. Look all around the satellites of their house. I'm telling you. Look at, they have random ass satellites that ain't no dish network. It ain't no internet. Come on. They got big at these are military grade satellites on regular civilians. They are paid by the government to gang stalk other people. Those are the NPCs. I have documentation to know that throughout the U.S., operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there is a central command located within the U.S. with multiple satellite offices who administrators can instantly initiate surveillance, phone taps, and harassment against any individual in the country. This is true. This has happened to me. This has happened to people that I know. This is a fact. They have the technology, financing, and manpower to dispense illegal surveillance and harassment against anyone at any time, day or night. Very true. Because that's what a DEW is. I have files in numerous cases of active programmatic illegal government harassment currently being conducted against thousands of Americans. Gang stalking. This makes the FBI's former COINTEL program, which I worked on, including in a supervisor capacity, look like a Sunday school program by comparison. That is true. So let's finish reading his affidavit. I firmly believe that most individuals working in the FBI or other intelligence agencies of the government overall are honest, law-abiding public servants. However, a sophisticated network, these are the Masons, of rogue operatives have secretly infiltrated secret societies, infiltrated the FBI, other intelligence agencies, including the CIA and other key government positions. This rogue element seeks personal power and wealth and considers themselves above the law and the Constitution. A secret society. They are carrying out the aforementioned surveillance and harassment activities in conjunction with organized crime, the cult movement in America, including satanic cults, other commercial and political interests, and even misguided civil organizations and neighborhood groups. This illegal surveillance and harassment program is called gang stalking and organized stalking by the victims targeted by it. The victims are targeted by a variety of reasons, including government and corporate whistleblowers. Whistleblowing, that's partly me. Parties to financial and employment disputes, parties to marital disputes, usually divorced women, and even jilted paramours. That's also something I'm dealing with. Journalists covering controversial issues, and even attorney and private investigators representing unpopular client of interest have been targeted by this program. They forgot to put scholars and activists on there. Now, this was written kind of later, but they got scholars and activists need to go on here too. And spiritualists, occultist spiritualists that are renegade and not initiated, your ass is on this list too. They go for anybody that is very, very highly spiritual and bloodline generationally spiritual. This he needed to really. I wish he would have talked more about all of that. Scholars, activists, added that to the list. Whistleblowers. If you piss off a very powerful person, your ass would just. I mean, it's so bad now where if you piss off a powerful person, they just put your ass on the list. That's also what happened to me. It's a couple of things. Like I was already going to be, but it's deep. It's deep. Okay, so let's keep continue. Individuals targeted by this program have been subjected to illegal and unconstitutional phone taps, illegal rerouting of business. This has happened to me, rerouting of business, and private phone calls for purposes of harassment. That has happened to me. Illegal audio bugging, surreptitious entry into the home. I know people that has happened to. Office and vehicle. There are people that this has happened to that I know of. Visual surveillance in the home conducted by the illegal placement of miniature remote wireless cameras. That has happened to me. Often accessible via internet. Illegal internet spyware. That has happened to me. Illegal GPS tracking through their own mobile phones. That has happened to me. Regular fixed and mobile surveillance, mail misdirection. That has happened to me. Mail theft. That has happened to me. And tampering. Financial and employment sabotage. That has happened to me. Slander campaigns. That has happened to me. In a community ostracizing. Internet disinformation and smear campaigns. Poisoning. That has happened to me. Assaults and murder. Illegal setup of drugs, charges, and other felony charges amongst many other civil rights abuses. It is deep, and it has happened to millions of people that make it on that list. In addition to high-ranking members of the FBI, other intelligence services, and a government overall, wealthy, powerful members of criminal syndicates. This is very important. Okay, this part is very important. Wealthy, powerful members of criminal syndicates, multi-millionaires, and the corporate elite are using the government gang stalking program to harass their enemies. They can get a targeted individual harassed for the rest of the individual's life. Individual cases of gang stalking last for over a decade or are common. The higher status members of the gang stalking conspiracy initiate the gang stalking and coordinate logistics and funding. Now, this is important. Watch this part. Lower echelon government rogue operatives, lower ranking members of the military, in violation of posse comitatus, petty criminals and street thugs perform the actual grunt work of daily monitoring and harassment of individuals targeted by the program. These are NPCs to me, in my eyes. Like that's such a betrayal of humanity and of the soul. That it's such a disgusting, evil thing to do. That I don't see them people as human. I don't. Based on my professional experience, extensive intelligence information, and belief, it is my professional opinion that the FBI is involved in and has investigated files on the subject of gang stalking, related gang stalking methods, and gang stalking groups in the FBI's vast intelligence files that are responsive to Mr. Labella's FOIA complaint. Furthermore, I have personally referred numerous victims of gang stalking to the appropriate agents at the FBI for investigation of their cases. I have also furnished the FBI with documentations of an active international child kidnapping ring, probably operated by rogue CIA agents. Isn't all this shit coming out now? This man is dead. They killed this man. And everything that he's saying is now all coming out. The FBI has ignored my request to investigate, even though it is their responsibility to investigate kidnappings. I have a contact in Germany who advises me that the CIA has set up secret operations on U.S. military bases for kidnapping, sale, and trafficking of children worldwide. Boom. The FBI may be using a unique code name and nomenclature for the gang stalking phenomenon in its records. However, this is a semantic difference and in no way changes my professional opinion that the FBI has investigated files on nationwide phenomena of gang stalking described in reasonable and specific details in Mr. Labella's FOIA complaint. These FBI files contain information responsive to the okay. So again, this is the affidavit that was written by the look at this. Chief of the FBI, and he is dead now. Look at this. Ted L. Gunderson, FBI Bureau Chief's Senior Special Agent in Charge, retired head of the Los Angeles Office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This was his words. Oh yeah, you better believe they knocked his ass right on off. It's notarized and everything. They said, oh hell no. Now everything that he's saying is coming to pass, and he will be vindicated more and more and more. You watch. And so the people that's participating in this thing, that's the NPC in my motherfucking eyes, because you gotta spend a lot of time on another person, that means you have sold your free will and that you are a slave to the system, because you have to monitor an innocent and harass and target an innocent ass soul because you get money out of it, or you enjoy it. There are people that literally enjoy it. And so that's an NPC in my eyes. And it's a wicked thing to do. It's straight up wicked. It's wickedness. And so we read this, and that's I want to make it clear. I'm not talking about people that are unaware. Now, the definition for the NPC is not even concretized. Earlier in the segment, I was showing all these different definitions of people saying it was soulless people, brainwashed people, AI technology, archons. I mean, it was so many demons. It was so many people that had different definitions of what it is. And so, hopefully, as humanity, we do get clear on the definition, because we don't want to dehumanize humans that are unaware. If they innocent and they just programmed or whatever. I don't want to use the NPC to describe them to humanize them. I'm not even talking about them people. I'm talking about motherfuckers that's doing this shit, and literally the homunculus AI technology that is ran by the archons. And even, you really want me to go there? Y'all really want me to go there? And even these, because I know when I start talking like this, I lose people. But even the interdimensional beings that appear as human, I'll just say that they act like they're human, but they're not human at all. They just can literally look like a human. Shapeshifters. Yes, a lot of them running around too. hmm It's all gonna come out. I may be looked at as the eccentric, crazy person. Watch, it's gonna come out back to 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 back on everything I'm saying. It's all, especially this Ted L. Gunderson. I'm speaking it now into existence. He will be vindicated. This man is dead. They done killed this man. This stuff, he will go viral in his death, and everybody gonna be talking about this, about what he said, because so many humans are gonna be coming forward. So many humans are going to be coming forward. Hey, I'm a victim of this program. I'm a victim of this program. This happened to me. These things happened to me. And those who were told they were crazy and they were delusional and they were, notice those are NPCs that tell them that. Everybody's going to be vindicated. Everybody's going to get vindicated. Okay. So I was on one as per usual. Let me get my ass off here. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Spend time loving yourself and loving on good people, those who love you. Okay. And let's continue to work on ourselves and focus on our own divinity every damn day. We are worthy. We are great. We are more than enough. We are more than capable. We have all the power in the world. Okay. Let's not let anybody knock us off our square at all. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.